What's happening, everyone? Have another malt review here for you guys. A sample provided by K&L. This one being a 30-year-old Inchgower from 1990, bottled at cask strength at 54.6% ABV. It's an independent bottler. It's the Old Particular line by Douglas Lane. So, yeah, another K&L exclusive selected by K&L. 30-year-old Inchgower. You don't really see Inchgower very often, right? It's not really something you see individual bottles of, single casks of very often. So it's a rare opportunity to try an Inchgower. And then most people are not familiar with the distillery at all. And not only that, it's a cask strength and it's 30 years old. So very unique. This has been matured in a hogshead. So there we go. I've been letting this breathe here for about a good 30 minutes. And again, sample provided by K&L. So my first time trying this whiskey as well. So keep that in mind while you're watching the review. I will leave a link to this bottling down below. All right, without further ado, nose. This really needed, it was closed off in the beginning. It really needed some air, and right away after about 15 minutes of air, it just explodes of this tons of vanilla. Just an incredible amount of vanilla comes through right away. Such a beautiful, nice, elegant because of the long aging, just a rich, nice vanilla note. Combined with this beautiful honey sweetness as well. Can't ignore the honey sweetness. I get green apples in here. Green apples as well as pears. There is a butter cake element to this. Think of butter cake. I don't know if you ever had butter cake. It's kind of like very rich, vanilla, sweet. Also like French crepes and buttery croissants. So those three kind of within kind of the same family, I guess. The butter cake, crepe, buttery croissant really comes to mind when I'm nosing this, along with those green apples and pears, that vanilla and honey. Almost like a toasted cereal note coming through. Like just a straight unscented candle. And like this earthy pine tree note. So it's almost got like this feel that I'm walking like in the mountains and I'm smelling like pine tree. It's got a white, for sure, got a white peppery spiciness to it as well, like a white pepper. Definitely get that spice. It's very clean. I said vanilla so much, but I'm like thinking of that butter cake with like vanilla icing on top. Complex. It's 30 years old, it's cask strength. You expect it to be complex. And it is. And I have a feeling if I spend even more time with this whiskey, I would pick out even more notes, but I think that summarizes it pretty well. Right there on the palate. It's juicy on the palate. The white peppery note definitely hits you right in the back, on the sides of the tongue, starting from the back, kind of going towards the middle. That white pepper note. The vanilla explodes. The honey sweetness definitely there. The apple and pears are there, but I almost get more apricot on the palate. And almost like more of these orchardy fruits coming through on the palate. That's really, really nice. Yeah, definitely some more apricot coming through on the palate, but the apple and pear for sure still there. Vanilla honey. It's creamy on the palate, where I mentioned that butter cake with the vanilla icing on top, the buttery croissants. That element is for sure still there as well. There's that toasty element, the toasted cereal. It's kind of translating fairly well. Definitely that pepper lingers on, that white pepper in the background. That candle note I mentioned. Yeah, and just got this like little earthy element to it, and pine tree comes to mind. I'm gonna add, probably gonna do at least 3 drops of water. It's not much in here, so let's do 3 drops of water, since this is cask strength at close to 55%. So let's try to lower this down to just under 50. Ideally, when you put water in, you kind of want to let it sit a little bit longer than I am, but it is a review. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fruits start coming out. It's the stone fruits. That pear note just explodes. Just taking water well. This minerality starts coming out, the wet rock element. It's like an oceany element. The pine tree for sure now. Leaves. A little earth. Vanilla. Perhaps the white pepper still, but less of it. Nice. Palate. Oh, not less of it on the palate, almost more of it on the palate. Good amount of white pepper in the back. It's like pink peppercorns. Earthy element for sure. Leaves, wet rocks. Lemon comes out. Vanilla, honey. Sweet pear now. Apple skin. Green apples. A little waxy, a little oily. Unscented candle note that I mentioned. Definitely buttery croissants. Lots of vanilla. Lots of vanilla in this one. Honey too. Finish is long, strong. And that white pepper does not. That white pepper in the background for sure lingers. It's a complex whiskey. It's a good whiskey. It's a very good whiskey. But it's also a whiskey that I probably ultimately should try 3 to 4 times before reviewing. Now, sample was provided to me by K&L. I can't, I'm not going to try it a bunch of times. This was a first try. So on first impression, I'm going to give it a strong 87 out of 100. That's a high mark. It is a 30-year-old whiskey, so it does offer a lot of complexity at cask strength. This is one that you need to spend a lot of time with. So I don't know how my score would change necessarily, My point being, it's complex, it's beautiful, it's unique. Most important, it's unique. Why do I say most important, it's unique? When you have tried thousands and thousands of whiskeys, you don't always look necessarily for something that you're used to, even though it might be one of your favorite styles, but you've had it so much, right? So you're looking for something unique, something a little challenging. This whiskey is more for that connoisseur, the enthusiast who's tried a lot of whiskeys, wants to kind of dig in and analyze a whiskey a little bit, and it offers a very unique experience. Can't go wrong with this. I will leave the link down below if you're interested in purchasing a bottle. And there you go. We release videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So make sure you're subscribed to have your bell notification on. And we'll see you soon for many more reviews. Cheers.